Next one's the spine. So nice and slowly going from your lower back to the upper back. And last one's on the knees, so just rotation through the knee, okay, so turn your shin out, heel comes back towards your backside, turn in and extend, rotate, back, in, extend, opposite direction. Okay, we're going to start with the hips. We've not done any of them yet, this block, but we're going to start doing some contraction work on your hip joints, okay, so it gets quite crampy. Just bear with it, try not to come out of the movement when you cramp up, unless you really have to. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is just in a nice glute stretch, so you'll probably have done something similar before. You're just going to take one ankle on the opposite knee, and then you can just wiggle that foot slightly further out, okay? From there, just let the weight of this leg bring this far away thigh down into internal rotation, so you're turning your thigh in the way as far as it will go, okay? It's okay if your hip slightly comes up off the ground here, it probably will, but just don't let it pull you all the way over, alright? So from there you should feel quite a deep stretch in your hip socket. You're just going to try and hold that there for about 2 minutes, okay? If there's any pressure in your knee, you can bring your heel up towards your backside or further down away from you, okay? Just find the place that gives you the best stretch. Once you've held that for 2 minutes, the first contraction you're going to do is trying to pull your thigh from internal rotation out the way. So I'm going to try and drag this right leg out towards the mirror. So take a big deep breath in, squeeze my core, squeeze everything else in my body, and then I'm trying to push my right knee up and out the way, but I'm not letting it move because my left leg is pressing down. If you build that up, slowly ramp up the tension from about 10%, 20%, 30%, all the way up to about 80%, or as hard as you can push while it still feels safe and it's not going to hurt you or anything, okay? So you build that up to almost your max contraction, hold for 10 seconds, and then just relax off and see if the leg will drop a wee bit further. Once you've done that, you're going to do the reverse. So you're going to drive your right knee down towards the ground using the muscles on the inside of your leg and do the same for 10 seconds. Notice this time I've lifted this leg up and off this side. Okay. Once you've held that for 10 seconds, immediately put that foot back down and just relax and let it pull this leg further into internal rotation. So every time you do the contraction on each side, it will give you a wee bit of space to move into. Okay, so your next rep, you'll probably get a wee bit further down. Okay. So I'm not going to do the full rep there, but if you do 2 on each side, so the first one you're pushing your thigh against the top leg, trying to turn it out for 10 seconds, building up the intensity to about 80% at least. Okay, so this is called end range strength training, okay? So that you could really do quite a hard strength session with this. And although people think it's kind of yoga-esque, at the end of it you'll feel like you've done a hard weight session because you've worked the muscle almost to its max effort. Okay, so because you're at end range though, you might not feel as if you have a lot of push, a lot of strength, but that's fine, okay? It's your weakest point. We're taking your thigh or your hip to the weakest point, and then your strength training there, so you're not going to have a huge amount of force there, okay? So if you do 2 reps of that on each side, then we're going to go into some exercises to back up the movement that you've just opened up. So the rotational movement, the contractions on each side of the joint, is trying to get the ball and socket moving a wee bit better, a bit closer. To back that up, you need to do some exercises just to
sort of tell your brain that you want to keep that movement, you want to be able to control the movement around your hip a bit better, okay? And the more you do of it, the better it will be, okay? So the next one, you're going to go back into that position. You're going to pull your knee into your chest. Then you're going to start contracting all the muscles on the inside of your thigh, okay, in order to try and hold your foot in that position when this leg moves away. So if I take a big deep breath in, squeeze everything nice and tight, let that foot drop off. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back on. So you'll notice here my foot did actually drop a bit further down. When you're doing these, you really want to try and hold that as tight as you can, okay? So the objective here is to hold that exactly where it is, okay? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back on. Pull it in a wee bit further each time. Contract your core, contract everything, squeeze, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back on. You're going to go there for 5 sets of 5-second holds, okay? So when you pull your knee in, that's called a passive stretch. You're pulling into a passive movement. When you let the knee go, that's your active strength, okay? So the difference between your passive and active is your strength deficit. And that's what you want to minimise, okay? In order to be able to control things well, your hips and squat well and lunge well and get really strong. If your active range is better, you'll be much more controlled, you'll have less risk of injuries and things. Okay? So you go into 5 sets of 5-second holds there, and then the other exercises are quite similar for your hips to the ones we did on Tuesday night. So you're back into 90-90 position from there, and what you're going to do is just take a big deep breath in, wedge yourself into the ground, you're lifting the front leg up, and you're just straightening that leg out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back in. So that is now working on external rotation because this thigh is turned out the way, okay? And the reason we are doing so much rotational work is because it's the best way to clear up linear deficiencies, which means most movement we do, like lunges and squats and things, are all linear, they're up and down, forwards and backwards, and a lot of people will get pinch in the front of their hip or in at their groin. But the best way to clear that up is to get the ball and socket moving better, so if that rotates better, you'll clear up a bit of space to the joint, and then it can also move better linearly. So that is why we do so much rotational work first before we get into any sort of hip flexor or groin stretches, okay? Because most people think, oh, if I sore groin, I'm going to stretch my groin, but actually it's probably coming from their hips or their lower back, okay? So once you've done your 5 sets of 5 of those ones there, we're going to go into the hip flexor holds that we did the other night as well. So we're going to take a big deep breath in, pull a bit of stretch into your hamstrings. So you're trying to arch your back in the way, trying to scoop your lower back in the way. Take a big deep breath in, wedge yourself into the ground, start to activate the muscles in the front of your hip. So you're actively trying to lift your heel off the ground, and then rock yourself back and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Try and pull yourself a wee bit further this time. Try and lift your heel off the ground before you push back, and then rock back slightly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, you're going to go for 5 seconds, 5 times 5 second holds, okay? Trying to go a wee bit further each time to try and get this muscle to work a bit harder each time and get a bit deeper into it. Again, it's end range, you're shortening that muscle as much as you can. So it does feel quite crampy in your hip flexors and your quad, okay? The last one there, we're going to come into the 90-90 position again. We're going to work on back leg hinges. So this is internal rotation, which is turned in the way. Again, you can use your kickstand hand if it's too much. Otherwise, you can try and stay nice and upright, squeeze your fists, lift the back leg up, extend, back in, extend, back in, extend, back in for 5 reps. Okay. We'll throw one more in just for a wee bit extra at the end. So we did these as well. We're just going from that position there, lift your foot, bring your knee into your armpit as far as you can. You're going to rotate round and bring yourself into that 90 degree twist again. Okay, from the back, lift your heel, lift your back leg, knee up into your armpit, and then back to the middle. Okay, same on the other side, lift, rotate, rotate, rotate all the way round, and then from the back, heel first, knee comes into your armpit, and all the way to the middle. Okay, so that's just a quick, I've fired through that, I've not even done all the reps. It's just to get people sort of an idea of things to do. That is a sort of 10-15 minute workout for your hips only, particularly those who have any problems in groins, front of the hips, even lower back. Getting your hips moving will really be beneficial. The better you squat and lunge and things, the better your exercise will be, the fitter you can get, etc. Okay.